Hello. I thought I would do another puzzle. When I didn't intend to do so many Sudokus when I made this channel, but what has happened since then is people have left comments on videos, puzzles creators, and that has, sort of created an avalanche of being recommended things and trying out new things. And I was recommended Dutch Flatmates 3. I had a bum time making the video out of that, but I ended up making one for Dutch Flatmates 2, both puzzles by Flinty. And now that those two are wrapped up, and in fact I've even heard from Flinty, I thought I would make a video out of Dutch Flatmates 1. So we're going in the reverse order. But this is Dutch Flatmates 1. It has 758 solvers in the last 141 and a half days. And I'm excited to try it out. So with that, I will start the puzzle and we can get rolling. What are the rules? What are the rules? The rules, okay. So first rule is that normal Sudoku rules apply. And the second rule has to do with these Dutch fives. So a 5 lives in a Dutch flat. All 5s in the grid must have strictly either a 1 directly above it or a 9 directly below it. It may have both, but it doesn't need both. So I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're familiar with how this normal Sudoku rules go. But when you see a 5, you either need a 1 directly above it. So a 1 could go here, for example, or a 9 directly below it. And this puzzle, we've been given a whole bunch of numbers to start out with, and I think we can dive in. I wish we could dive in with the Dutch rule with these 5s, but what I'm putting together is that there's only one 5 in the puzzle, and there's only one 5 in the puzzle. So I don't know if we can really start from that rule. The numbers of interest, at least with the Dutch 5s, are the number 5, the number 1, and the number 9, and they play together in some very interesting ways. So we're going to have to figure out where they all go. But now that we're a minute and a half in, I might as well get cranking. Sort of sped through the intro. I hope the rules and the story is all together. Let's figure out how to do this. So this is a 5. It needs to either have a 9 below it or a 1 above it. That, we're not able to place it yet, though, I don't think. I think a 9 can go down here. I think a 1 can go up here. But the numbers of interest are 1, 5, and 9, so maybe what we should do is look at how constrained we are with these 1s. We should figure out where 1s go and 9s go, for example. So in this region, we need a 1. That 1 can either go here or here. One of you needs to be a 1. In this region, we need a 1. That 1 can either go here or here. In this region, we need a 1. And that 1 can either go here or here. In this region, we need a 1. And those 1s can only go here. In this region, we need a 1. And that 1 can go here or here or here. And I think we've placed we've gone through every region and figured out the cells that the 1 would need to go in that cell. I wish I could start with 5s, but we're only given one 5. In fact, maybe what I'm supposed to start doing is starting just with normal Sudoku rules and thinking about, where the numbers go. But let's first figure out where the 1s and 9s go. So a 9 needs to go here someplace. That 9 can either go here or here. Your 2 cells, you can accommodate a 9. Now a 9 can go in one of you. So that 9 can either go here, here, or here. This is what we said. This 5, well, that's what the rule said. The 5 must have either a 1 above it or a 9 below it. But what we figured out in this case is that it is possible to put either or. An interesting consequence of this Dutch Flatmates rule is that you're not allowed to have a 1 below a 5, because that would create a situation in which you can't have a 9 below the 5, but you also can't have a 1 above the 5. Anyway, let's keep moving with 9s. Now I need a 9 in this center region here, and I think that 9 can either go here or here. I need a 9 up here someplace. That 9 can either go here or here. And I need a 9 up here someplace. That 9 can go in the same positions that the 1s can. Wasn't really premeditated how I was going to move through the puzzle, because I hadn't seen it, but I had this inkling as soon as the video started that what I should do is place all the 1s in the 9s, and I don't know if that is going to be as fruitful as I thought, but having the numbers there should make it easier to handle the other rules as time goes on. I mean, for all I know, I'm just missing some classic Sudoku thing where, yeah, so for example, a 7 needs to go in this region. That 7 must go here. I think if what I do is I just click around on all the numbers and I start filling in the locations that things need to go, I think I wouldn't feel good about myself. I'd feel as though I cheated. I feel like I need to start, you know, I'm gonna feel good about myself when I start applying some finer grained logic to things. So I guess the logic that it makes the most sense to start with is trying to figure out where the 5s go. It would look, if the Dutch flatmate rule wasn't here and we only had this 1 5, it would look like we wouldn't really have an easy time placing the 5s. But I think that because of this Dutch flatmate rule, we might have an easier time. So is there a region that I could start with that would make it? Yeah. Is there a region that I can start with where we can figure out where the 5s go? A 5 needs to go in this region. It can't go in this column because these cells see a 5 in that column. We're not allowed to place a 5 above a 1, which limits us to these cells for 5s. If a 5 was to go here, I could put the 1 above it. That's actually allowed. I was thinking it would be a little bit more constrained, but if a 5 went here, I would either need a 1 above it, that's not allowed, or a 9 below it, so a 5 can't go here, but a 5 can go here with the 1 above you. So I think these are the 2 cells that we're allowed to have 5s in. Oop, these are the 2 cells we're allowed to have 5s in. I need to place a 5 up here someplace. The 5 could go in any of these cells. A 5 can't go here, because then I would need a 9 below it. 5 could go here, and I could have a 9 below it. A 5 can't go here, because then I would either need a 9 below it, that's not allowed, or a 1 above it, and that's not allowed. And the 5 could go here. So I think what that means is that in this region, the 5 can either go here or here. I have a feeling that this is one of these puzzles where, well, and a lot of the time when I do puzzles, I focus on the wrong rule at the start. I add a whole bunch of notation, and then I discover something that might have been obvious at the beginning had I spent more time thinking. And, you know, so I wonder if I'm focusing on the wrong rule. I've been focusing on this Dutch flatmate rule. I wonder if I should be focusing on the fact that normal Sudoku rules apply. But we can keep moving. So this 5 sees, you know, this region is of interest because of this 5. We filled in the locations for the 5 in this region. We've also filled in the locations for the 9 and 1. This region is the same thing. So maybe I should focus on these 2 regions in the 5. In this region, I need a 5. That is true. 5 can't go down here, so 5 must go up here. But what we need a situation in which either a 9 appears below the 5 or a 1 appears above the 5. So what does that mean? Is it possible for you to be a 5? let's add them all in and then rule them out. Is it possible for you to be a 5? That's not true. It's not possible. I would need a 1 above you, which is not allowed, or a 9 below you, which is not allowed. So you're not allowed to be a 5. You can't have a 1 above you, and you can't have a 9 in this column, so you're not allowed to be a 5. So we've narrowed the 5 down to these 3 cells. This cell is not allowed to have a 9 below it, and it's not allowed to have a 1 above it, which means we've narrowed the 5 down to these 2 cells. And now I think it's fair game, because either of you two can have a 9 below you, but we know definitely that the flatmate of this undetermined 5 is a 9. So, yeah. Last thing to do, I think, would be to check this region for 5s, and I think that we've done it because there can't be a 5 in this row because of this 5, and there can't be a 5 in this row because of this mystery 5. So that 5 is going to go here. You are our missing 5. You, Mr. 9, or Mrs. 9, you are the flatmate of Mr. or Mrs. 5. We'll see. But you could have another flatmate. It's possible for a 5 to have 2 flatmates. All right, so now we have this 5. What we should continue to do is continue to hunt around. So I need a 5 in this region. That 5 can go in any of these cells, to the best of our knowledge. We can't go in these cells because of the column. There's a 5 in the column. It's not possible for a 5 to go here because of the fact that the building is occupied. You wouldn't have a flatmate. It's not possible for a 5 to go here because it's not possible to have a 9 above you or a 1 above you. But it is possible to have a 5 in these 3 cells. It's not possible to have a 5 in this cell, actually, because there's no there's no lower floor in the flat, and the floor above you is taken up. So one of you two must be a 5. Actually, I think we know which one of you must be a 5. If you were a 5, I would need a 1 above you. That's not allowed. So the only cell remaining for a 5 is this one. Now it's not possible to place a 9 above the 5. We know exactly who your flatmate is. It's Mr. 9, Mrs. 9. I don't know why I'm making the numbers into people. Now we need a 5 in this region. If the 5 went here, building would be occupied. We need a 5 in one of these 3 cells. We need a 5 in this region, but there's already 5s in these columns. So you're not allowed to be a 5. You must be a 5, and the 9 must be your flatmate. I think what we've determined so far is that every 5 has a flatmate that is a 9. But that can't be the case for every 5. There must be a 5 in the final row, row number 9, and the only place that its flatmate can go is there must be a 1 above it. So now actually we can apply what I just said to figure out where the 5 goes in this row. There needs to be a 5 in this row someplace. And that 5 must have a flatmate. That flatmate must be above it, and therefore that flatmate must be a 1. So in this row, where would I have to place a 5 to have a 1 above it? I would have to place that 5 here. And now you are not allowed to be a 5. And I think, just like that, we are going to determine the locations of all of the 5s, or at least as many as I can. You need a flatmate. Your flatmate needs to be a 9. It needs to go here. And now you two cannot be 9. You two cannot be 9. You need to be a 9. You're not allowed to be a 9. You're not allowed to be a 9. Now I believe you need to be a 9. We talked about the fact that this 5's flatmate is a 9, so you need to be a 5. Now you need to be a 9. Do we have all of the 9s already? Wow, that went fast. But we don't have all of the 5s. I need a 5 somewhere in this region. That 5 can either go here or here. But this building is filled up, so you'll be our 5, and now I need a 5 in this region, and that 5 must go here, and your downstairs neighbor is a 9. So I think with that, we have all of the 5s. We have all of the 9s. We still need to place 1s. I wonder if any of these... Well, you know, if we have all of the 5s and all of the... Do all of their 5s have their flatmate? All of them have their flatmate, but it's possible to have... Well, I guess it's not possible for any of them to have a second flatmate. So this 5, for example, can't have a second 9. So it can't have a second flatmate. It can't have a 9 below it. But what that means is we are 14 minutes in and we have exhausted the Dutch flatmate rule. So for the remainder of this video, I will just be doing classic Sudoku, I think. And the thing about that is it's still going to take me a lot of time because I am not an expert on classic Sudoku. So we need a 3 in this region. That 3 must go here. What else? We need a 3 in one of these two. We need a 3 in this region. That 3 must go here. So now the 3 must go there. You must be a 3. You're no longer allowed to be a 3. When I started making videos, I titled them Sudoku Speedrun. And the thing about that is I'm not a particularly fast Sudoku solver. So I think I'm just going to call these... I think I'll just title the remaining videos after the creator or something like that. This region, we have 2 numbers left to place. Those numbers are a 2 and a 4, but a 4 can't go there. So you need to be a 2 and you need to be a 4. In this region, we need a 4. That 4 must go here. Now the remaining numbers are 6 and not 7, 6 and 8. But we know what is what. So you must be our 8. You must be our 6. Maybe I can get away just with doing things from the keyboard. I sort of doubt it. No, I can't. I need the mouse. I'm going to need a 3 somewhere here. That 3 needs to go here. I'm going to need an 8. That 8 needs to go here. This row we could have picked out earlier was almost filled up. It needs to be a 2 there. Now I'm going to need a 4, and I should figure out the other number before I move on. You need to be a 6, and you need to be a 4. Now this column is pretty full. I'm missing, what am I missing in this column? If I need a 6, I'm missing 2 things here and here. I'm missing a 2, and I'm missing an 8. I wish I knew which was which, but I do not. This region is also pretty filled up. I need a 2 in this region, I need a 6 in this region, and I need an 8 in this region. But you're not allowed to be an 8, and you're not allowed to be a 6. This may be a true Sudoku speedrun. In this region, I need a 1. We know where the 1 goes. I also need a 2. I also need a 4, and that 4 must go down here. First things first. And now you're not allowed to be any of those numbers, but the other one that I'm missing is an 8. So you need to be an 8. You are like that. Now I can think about this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're our 6. You're our 7. This column is pretty filled up. This needs to be, you don't need to be a 3 at all. You need to be a, what do you, I'm just missing the mark. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're an 8. Now you need to be a 2. Now you need to be an 8. Now you need to be a 4. And you need to be a 2. You need to be an 8. You guys are 2 and 6. I'm just going to leave that there here for a moment. There's a missing number in this column. Or it's actually 2 missing numbers in this column. You can be a 1 or a 2, but we'll come back to that later. In this region, I'm missing some numbers. In this column, I'm missing some numbers. So the numbers that I'm missing are 2, definitely, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have a very difficult time seeing where the 8 needs to go for some reason, but you need to be a 2 and you need to be an 8. Now you need to be a 6 and you need to be a 2. I need a 2 somewhere in this region. That 2 needs to go here. I have a row here that's pretty filled up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a 6. That 6 needs to go here. I also need a 7. That 7 needs to go here. Now, in this region, let's just look at this row. 1 is the missing number in this row, isn't it? Now, you can't be a 1. You actually need to be a 7. Now that I think about it, this column, okay, I can put in the 1 here. I can put the 2 here. I can put the 1 here. I need... what else do I need? I need a 6, and I need a 1, 2, 3, 4. I solved the puzzle, and I'm delighted to be the 759th solver of Dutch Flatmates 1. Let's see, closing thoughts. This was fun. I'm really excited for Dutch Flatmates 4 because my understanding is it's a 3-star puzzle, so it might be harder. I had to do puzzles 3, 2, and 1 in the reverse order. Which for whatever reason is bringing to mind certain film franchises. I think I saw the Twilight Saga with my girlfriend in reverse order. But that film franchise has grown on me quite a bit. So hopefully the comparison isn't too outlandish. But that was a really fun puzzle, Flinty. I'm enjoying this Dutch Flatmate rule quite a bit. Yeah. And I'm excited for Dutch Flatmates 4. I might even have time to do it now. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.